All right, everybody, welcome to the Fantasy Football Week 13 wrap up. This is the Fantasy Sports Boss. Another crazy day in the fantasy football world, and certainly for myself, it was an ugly one. I lost both of my matchups today. 7-5 team is now going to be 7-6, and I have a scenario where, believe it or not, I actually might be able to move up a spot into the fifth spot out of teams that make the playoffs. But it's going to be me and three other teams that are going to be battling it out for two spots the last week of the season. Uh, and for me personally on that team, I don't have a quarterback next week. So not only did I lose Lamar Jackson to an injury, and the debate for me, and I posted it earlier today, is the most difficult decision I've made in fantasy football this season was whether to go with Justin Fields or Lamar Jackson. I wound up going with Justin Fields, and it worked out, although he wasn't great with only 20 fantasy points, 2 interceptions. And they did baby him a little. I mean, I know we had the one touchdown run, but he was kind of handled with kid gloves, very few designed rollouts, certainly to protect the shoulder. But Jackson winds up getting hurt. And who knows how long he's going to be out now. He's going to be, John Harbaugh was very vague. He said it's not a season-ending injury. It could be days, could be weeks. He doesn't know. So now next week, I need to win and get in, and I don't have a quarterback. Justin Fields is on a bye, and Lamar Jackson's hurt. So, and this is such a deeper league that I might have to pick up Tyler Huntley off waivers to be my ride or die next week. So just very frustrating. Once again, I played a team that was red hot, and I called it about A.J. Brown. I said this was the week he's going to go nuclear. It's been too long. It's usually once every 4 weeks. It's been a little bit longer than that. And what did he do? He scored 31 points, and of course, I played him. And I also played Tyler Lockett. So I'm down 60. Let me see here. 68 points going into tonight and tomorrow. And he's finished, my opponent, in the 7-5 team that I have. But I have four guys left. I have Tony Pollard, Rashad White, CeeDee Lamb, and Dalton Schultz. So three of them are in the Dallas game. So 66 points. That's going to be a lot. Not sure I'm going to be able to pull that. 68 points. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to pull that off. I have a 25% chance to win, but stranger things have happened. Very frustrating day. My other league that I'm 10-2, I'm going to drop to 10-3, but it's not going to affect my seeding. I still have the first round bye locked up. In that league, I have Fields and Jackson as well. So I'm going to have to find another quarterback. In both of my leagues, here we are now going into week 14. And in both of my leagues, I don't have a quarterback for next week. I mean, unbelievable. I thought, okay, I'm good. I got Lamar Jackson. I got Justin Fields. They don't have the same bye. And now one's on a bye next week and one's injured. So it just goes to show you the week that I had in fantasy. So I'm not immune to it, certainly. Make sure, guys, you hit the subscribe, hit the like button, and also hit the notification button if you're new. Questions already coming in. I'm going to go over all the games and the injuries as well. A lot of big name injuries today. A lot of big name injuries. It was not a good day for that. Treylon Burks, of course. Aaron Jones with a shin injury, and of course I had Aaron Jones as well. They have the bye next week, so hopefully that'll get him back on track there. But just an ugly day all around for me personally. Hey, boss, I'm up 12. I need Tony Pollard to have a low score game and Zeke to be in most of the game this rate. It depends on my playoffs. Good Lord. It's possible. I mean, Pollard only scored 8 points last week, and Zeke had a couple of touchdowns. So, that's possible. I think I need the opposite. I need Tony Pollard to have a big game. Is Swift back in the circle of trust? Pick up Mike freaking White. But yeah, listen, Mike freaking White is a thing. No doubt about it. I mean, he threw an obscene amount of times. And honestly, he made some bad throws the last two drives of the game where the Jets could have actually taken the lead when it was 27-22. But, listen, he's the guy. No doubt about it. And as far as DeAndre Swift, listen, the talent's always there. There's never been an issue with him in terms of talent. But it's just really opportunity. Of course, Jamal Williams winds up scoring the first touchdown of the game, which, adds to the annoyance of the whole deal with DeAndre Swift. But he looks to be back, and I'll start off with that one. Walker too. And Travis Kelce really hurt me this week. Went up against Tyreek Hill. Yeah, George, man, that's rough. I mean, Ken Walker, who wasn't very good the last couple of weeks anyway, that was a rough one. I'm up 30. My opponent has Kamara and Suckup. Half our PPR. Should I be good? Yeah, you should be good. 30 points. I don't think Kamara is getting anywhere near that. And Suckup, whether it's 8 to 10 points, it's not going to be that pronounced there. Swift season, yeah, it was a good one. So let's talk about that game first. I'm losing horribly due to Lamar injury and impact to Mark Andrews. Yeah, man, it was bad. Kenneth Walker injury, multiple busts, including Austin. Yeah, how about Austin Eckler too? Jesus, L. Dot had the worst day of all of us. That's pretty rough. Love you, boss, but I'm sorry I need Paul to do. Yeah, listen, I'm gonna disagree with you on that, but that's listen, the stream, the wrap up stream is like therapy for me, and I hope it serves as therapy for you too. Because I mean, when you get your ass beat like I did again this week, in both of my leagues, sometimes you just need to talk it out or commiserate with some people that got screwed as well. T. Laura Watson next week. A little early for that, John. I haven't given it much thought, but geez, Lawrence, it was rough for him. I'd have to say Watson. Same position. I'm thinking probably T. Laura has been really good. Yeah, I mean, listen, it was a lot of garbage time points for him too. All right, so as far as Detroit, so DeAndre Swift, 14 carries, 62 yards, scored a touchdown. Jamal Williams, 11 for 35. And he scored a touchdown. But it was interesting that Swift got 3 more carries, and he added 4 catches for 49 yards. So this is close to the DeAndre Swift that we saw last season when he was on the field. So really like the way he played today. If this is a sign of things to come for him, getting more work, then I'm really looking forward to that for sure. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 11 catches, 114 yards, 2 touchdowns. What more could you say about the guy? He tore it up the second half of last year. There was some concern that, with a full allotment of weapons, Detroit this season he wouldn't have as many targets, but he has exceeded expectations. He is an alpha wide receiver one. You could put him now slightly behind Devontae Adams and Stephon Diggs next season as an early second-round pick. I think Lamar will be out. Have to pick up Daniel Jones and pick it. Lamar's going to be out next week. I just can't see him coming back that quickly. And he's been beat up, so they're going to give him a rest. And listen, Huntley is really good. He's a good, I wouldn't say really good, but he's a very good backup. He's had really good outings in the past, filling in for Jackson, particularly last season. So I'm picking him up in the league. I need a quarterback because there's really nobody else available. Like nobody. Thank you for giving me the decision to start ETN. He did decent. Yeah, I mean, listen, it was, speaking of ETN, let's get to his numbers. 13 for 54 on the ground, which is not great. 3 catches for 12 yards. It was not a great ETN outing, but it was better than nothing. P. Ryan, yeah, listen, P. Ryan was good. You talk about backup running backs that are right there at the top. That in terms of ability, that's P. Ryan, that's Alexander Madison for sure. Yeah, Lockett, shit. I mean, I played against Lockett and AJ Brown, so it figures, right? Yeah, I hope I can make the playoffs. I'm in safely in one league. The other league, I'm going to need to win to get in, and the points are going to come into play here. Unless I can pull off a miracle tonight, I need 68 points between 4 players. So those who just jumped in, I have Rachaad White, Tony Pollard, CeeDee Lamb, Dalton Schultz. It's hard having 3 guys on one team being able to get that many fantasy points. I just don't see it happening, but who knows? Lions offense is crazy. If they get Bryce Young, they could become a dynasty. Yes, 100%. I think they're winning too much though to get Bryce Young. I don't think they're going to be in position to get him. Huntley picking a Daniel Jones for next week. Daniel Jones wasn't that great today. I'd have to say Huntley because he can run a lot too. And he was good. His completion percentage was good today. Jared Goff, 31 of 41, 340, 2 touchdowns. I've said this multiple times about Jared Goff. If he gets time to throw, he's going to make plays. He did that with the Rams, during the couple of good seasons he had there. And, he's doing it again this season. I didn't see how bad. I didn't see how he did. Was a bad day. He went off, Rain. He absolutely went off. 31 fantasy points. And like I said, not to toot my own horn, but I called it. It was the law of averages at work here. It's been way too long since AJ Brown went nuts, and he did it today. All right, Trevor Lawrence, 17 of 31, 179 and a touchdown. He's taken another step back. I love Trevor Lawrence's natural ability, but it's just not there. He's still struggling. Christian Kirk, 6 for 104, so 16 fantasy points. Kirk's been very, very solid. Not as good as he was the first couple of weeks of the season, but he's getting the job done. Evan Engram, who I also went up with against today, 5 for 30, and of course he scores a touchdown. I mean, why wouldn't he, right? He's playing me. He's definitely going to score a touchdown. A dud from Zay Jones, 2 for 16 yards. Giants need to start lining Saquon up in the slot. Passing game's horrendous. It is, and I'm a Giants fan. What an ugly game. Let's get to that one now. We'll talk about that one next. Let me find it. So a 20-20 tie. I don't even know what to make of that in terms of the playoff push for the Giants. But listen, Daniel Jones, he has nobody to throw to. literally nobody to throw to. So for the fact that he went 25 for 31 for 200 yards and a touchdown is a minor miracle. Rush for 71 yards. So, he put forth numbers, just he's making the best of a really ugly situation. Tyler Heineke played with his hair on fire, 2 more touchdown passes. Brian Robinson, 21 carries for 96 yards, 4.6 a pop. The guy's legit. He caught 2 passes for 15 yards. He's a capable receiver. He absolutely is legit. And Brian Robinson is a top running back too the rest of the way. And next season, I'm going to be very in on Brian Robinson because I think he's going to supply good value. I think Antonio Gibson, whether they trade him in the offseason, I think Robinson, since I'm using my first round pick on a whiteout, Robinson, I think is going to be a target for me in the 3rd round. I think he'll make it to the 3rd round. Terry McLaurin, 8 for 105 and a touchdown. This is the scary Terry that we all love, the ace. Oh, shit. All right. Breaking news, guys. Jimmy Garoppolo, broken left foot, done for the season. So there it goes. There goes my Super Bowl pick. San Francisco and Kansas City. So right here, guys, right now, just found out, breaking news. Jimmy Garoppolo, broken foot. Holy shit is right. Oh, man, that sucks. You got to feel for the guy. He takes a lot of abuse. He's always on winning teams. This is a bad one. This is bad. So now Brock Purdy, oh, God, Kyle Shanahan's got to be sick to his stomach. Horrible news. Definitely. That is just horrible news. Stunned. I'm absolutely stunned right now. Wow. Saquon Barkley, 18 for 63. He did score a touchdown. But 5 catches for 18 yards. It wasn't as bad as it might have looked. Barkley and Darius Slayton went 6 for 90. So if Darius Slayton's sitting out there, I would pick him up because, again, the Giants have nobody to throw to. So Barkley, could it be better? Yes. They need to definitely get him the football a little bit more. He's certainly capable of being a better receiver, but for whatever reason, the Giants don't seem to be interested in getting him the ball in space. CMC, battle play wide. Yeah, CMC is going to have to do a lot more. But you know what? They won today, and that's the thing. They beat Miami, embarrassed Miami, who's been one of the hottest teams in the NFL. Never lost a game when Tua finished a game this season. They were 8-0 coming in, and Tua got hurt. He hurt his ankle. And that's another thing with Tua. He's always hurt. I love Tua as a player, but guy can't stay healthy. Thank God I benched Jimmy G, had Herbert's. Yeah, Herbert's going to be just fine, even though they lost that game. So Pittsburgh Steelers, a lot of discontent on the sideline. Kenny Pickett earned the wrath of George Pickens, who cursed audibly and was caught on video saying to throw me the effing ball. Kenny Pickett, not even worth talking about any of the quarterbacks in this game. I know him and Mariota each threw a touchdown. But Najee Harris, 17 for 86, 5.1 a carry. He's doing his best work now down the stretch of the season. And caught 1 pass for 6 yards. So he's gutting through injury. A lot of props and a lot of respect for him. Rough week had with Waddle, who's also injured now, Lamar, Pickens, and Kelsey. Yikes. I didn't even look. I have to be honest with you. I didn't watch much of the Chiefs-Bengals game because my opponent had Jamar Chase, and I was just getting so annoyed, getting my ass beat. I just couldn't take it anymore. So I didn't realize Kelsey was that bad today. You think Aaron Jones is going to be hurt? No, I think he'll be fine, Ed. And he came back in the game a couple of times. I think he's going to be fine. He'll rest him up. He'll be good to go. Deontay Johnson, 5 for 60. It's been a lost season for Deontay Johnson. Really nothing. Cordell Patterson, 11 for 60. Tyler Algier, 11 for 52. They continue to split work there and making the best of their arrangement. And both guys, though, really just flex plays at best. Let's get to that Green Bay game. Big win for the Green Bay Packers. And listen, 1 point for George Pickens. It was just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Now, Justin Fields. So I made the call to go with Justin Fields. It was the right call. But the Chicago coaching staff just completely blew this game. They played not to lose. They were running the ball way too much in the second half when the Packers made their run. They had to be a little bit more aggressive. Justin Fields, 20 of 25, 254 yards, but he threw 2 interceptions, 2 killer interceptions, minus 4 points right there. No touchdowns, but he did run for a score, 6 carries for 71 yards, only 6 carries. Anybody who watched this game, and I watched almost every snap of it, there were very few in the way of design runs. Almost every one of his rushes were from broken plays. So they did take the design run out of the equation, at least for this week. He has the bye next week. I do think he'll come back. The design runs will be back in. I have to ride Fields in my 10-3 team now into the playoffs because who knows about Lamar Jackson. I think Lamar's is more serious than Waddle, Jeff. AJ Dillon, though, listen, we've all hammered AJ Dillon all season, rightfully so, but he's playing his best football of the season now. And he seems to be a guy that gets better the more carries he gets. So 18 carries, 93 yards and a touchdown. Even added 3 catches for 26 yards. He's a capable receiver. If Aaron Jones does miss time, which I don't think he will, this is why you hold on to A.J. Dillon. He could be a very good running back too. As far as Jones, 9 for 26 on the ground. Yuck. Caught 5 passes for 24 yards, 10 fantasy points. Big letdown game for him, and I own him. Allen Lazard, little comeback for him, 5 for 67. But Christian Watson, again, 3 for 48, scored a touchdown, and took a handoff 46 yards for another touchdown. I think that's what, 7 is at 8 touchdowns now over the last 4 games. I played Watson today. You got to ride him out now the rest of the season. It's crazy how good he's playing right now. Aaron Rodgers, he was pretty rough today. That's putting it gently. Did throw in a touchdown. David Montgomery, 14 for 61. He scored 4 catches for 6 yards. I mean, the guy is just such an average athlete. It's not even funny. But, Bears, one of those teams that are on a bye next week. So, and the Green Bay Packers as well. There's a lot of big names that are on byes next week. All right, let's talk about Minnesota and the Jets. The Jets should have won this game. 2 drives at the end of the fourth quarter, 2 opportunities. First and goal at the 5-yard line. They run it on the first 2 plays. Zonovan Knight almost scored. He got down to the 1. Then they went right through an awful pass into the corner of the end zone on 3rd down for Garrett Wilson, and then he missed Braxton Berrios from in close. Should have been, he should have been caught, but and then they got the ball back again and couldn't score. Mike White, struggled early in the game, threw a lot of passes, 31 of 57, 369, no touchdowns and 2 picks. So listen, he got it done. He had a rushing touchdown. That's what really saved the day for him. But for the second game in a row, you could see that Mike White knows where to go with the football. He's very accurate. He's smart. He knows what he's doing. The 2 interceptions, the second one, I can't blame him. He was just kind of throwing it up. But he's the guy. You're not going to see Zach Wilson the rest of the season unless there's injuries. Kirk Cousins is typical boring game for him. 1 touchdown. He's been pretty bad this season, I got to say. Dalvin Cook, 20 for 86. He scored a touchdown. Only 2 catches for -3 yards. They're just not using him. Kevin O'Connell brought this offense from the Rams, and with the Rams, they don't throw the football to running backs either. So, it's just very disappointing. As far as Zonovan Knight, I told you guys this was my number 1 waiver claim of the week. How did he do? Excellent. 15 for 90, average of 6 per carry. James Robinson only got 4 carries. And Knight also contributed 5 catches for 28 yards. So Zonovan Knight had a really nice day. What is that? 9, 14, 16, almost 17 fantasy points for Zonovan Knight. So he has definitely made hay in fantasy. And listen, I don't think the Jets could put him back into a backup position, even if Michael Carter comes back. Garrett Wilson, real deal, folks. 8 for 162. Holy crap. Elijah Moore is just not getting it done. 2 for 7. Corey Davis, 5 for 85. So Garrett Wilson just is really, he could be a league winner the rest of the season. Justin Jefferson had Sauce Gardner on him for the majority of the game. The 1 touchdown he did catch was against the other cornerback for the Jets, Reed. And overall, not a great outing for Jefferson by his lofty standards. 7 catches for 45 yards. TJ Hawkinson, a complete dud, 4 for 33. So, the Jets defense, Adam Thielen, 2 for 27. I really thought he'd be better. I'll take the hit on that. I know I recommended Adam Thielen. Just not a great outing for him. I was hoping to get an update on the Dolphins situation while I'm on here. Now, the Philadelphia Eagles, Jalen Hurts. No let up for Jalen Hurts, one of the stars of the day. 29 of 39, 380 yards. My God. 3 touchdown passes, only ran for 12 yards, but he scored another touchdown. So 4 total touchdowns for Jalen Hurts. Good luck for anybody who's going to face him in the fantasy football playoffs. And in both of my leagues, the owner of Hurts, both owners of Hurts will make the playoffs. So 2 for 2 for me in terms of leagues where Hurts is going to make the playoffs. Treylon Burks, 1 catch for 25 yards and went for a touchdown. He took a scary helmet-to-helmet hit, managed to hold on to the ball, which was a minor miracle. Almost certainly suffered a concussion. probably going to have to go through the protocol, and it's going to be, usually it's a 50-50 deal. Could be a long shot for him to play next week. Just you don't want to see that really ugly situation there. Now, let's talk about Derrick Henry. The guy's on fumes. 11 for 30. He's been god awful of late. I mean, just he has no juice in his legs. Listen, he's 28 years old. It is no surprise to me at all that Derrick Henry is struggling the way he is. He needs oxygen. He's so tired. All the pounding, all the hits he's taken over all these years, it's starting to come back to bite him now. And the numbers speak for themselves. AJ Brown, 8 for 119, 2 touchdowns. I played against him. I knew he was going to go off, but Devontae Smith went off too. 5 for 102 and a touchdown. And this is a Tennessee Titans defense that wasn't horrible. So, listen, it was a phenomenal outing by the Eagles. Even Miles Sanders, who only had 24 yards rushing, scored a touchdown to save his day. The Eagles are legit, folks. Now that Jimmy Garoppolo is out for the season with a broken foot, and those who just joined us, that's the news. Jimmy Garoppolo done for the season with a broken foot. I think the Eagles clearly now are the team to beat. The Minnesota Vikings are not legit, in my opinion. Stash Hilliard, guys, Hatkins hurt. I doubt Henry plays every game rested away. He could. Out of respect for Henry, they're still going to give him the ball and just let him do his thing. Now, Baltimore Ravens over the Denver Broncos. God, the Denver Broncos are so bad. Russell Wilson, 17 to 22, no touchdowns, no interceptions, 21 yards rushing. It's just downright embarrassing. Tyler Huntley, off the bench, 27 of 32. He did throw a pick, 187 yards, but he ran for 41 yards and a score. So, Tyler Huntley, if you look at Tyler Huntley's numbers at the end of last season when Lamar Jackson was injured, he did the job. He actually looked really good. So good that I thought a team was going to come and make a trade for him. So for me, I'm picking him up in the one league. I need a quarterback. Desperate times call for desperate measures, but he has running ability, and you always want to have those guys who can throw it and run it. Latavius Murray, nothing going on there, 17 for 47. Listen, you don't want any of the Broncos. I know Greg Dulcich went 6 for 85. Jerry Jeudy, 4 for 64, I guess was okay. Cortland Sutton, nothing. Bagel, guy's done. Won't go near him next season. It's just bad. It's so bad with the Denver Broncos right now. I can't even, there's just nothing else to say. Nothing doing with the Baltimore Raven running attack as well, if you even want to call that. Huntley, a great backup. I remember he was holding it down. Yes, he was. Mark Andrews went nuclear with Huntley last season. Well, yes, he did. Mark Andrews had a great stretch. This actually could unlock Mark Andrews the rest of the way. So that very good points there. All right, so Deshaun Watson made his return. It wasn't pretty for long stretches of this game. I said to be very careful. I've said over and over, do not start him this week because he needs to knock off the rust, and there was a lot of it. 12 for 22, 131 yards in the pick, no touchdowns, ran for only 21 yards. It was a complete dud against a team that surrendered weeks ago, the Houston Texans. So a little disturbing how bad he played. But again, he hasn't played in a long time. I think, he deserves a mulligan. Saints need to trade for Huntley. I'm so tired of watching Andy Dalton. Yeah, maybe next season somebody will trade for him. Soft defensive schedule, getting Huntley to replace Lamar. Yeah, I'm definitely going to get Huntley. Nick Chubb, 17 for 80, didn't score. When Nick Chubb doesn't score, it can be a little bit of a shaky outing. He didn't catch any passes. Amari Cooper, 4 for 40. Donovan Peoples-Jones, 3 for 44. Disappointing outings all along there. Dameon Pierce, a little bit of a comeback, 18 for 73. You like to see that. Even added 3 catches for 22 yards. So at least he's showing a little bit of a flicker of light. Hey, Mike P, how are you? Yeah, crazy day, Mike. I got my ass beat 0 for 2 today. 7-6 now, unless I score 68 points with 4 players the rest of the way. Dallas has got to light it up tonight. I just, I have to be honest with you guys. I had a moment today. So I was getting back into the matchup in the 7-6 in my 7-16 now, or 7-5. Maybe I win. And my opponent got a touchdown from Evan Engram, and I lost it. I wound up punching my couch 3 or 4 times in the cushion because I got so fucking pissed. I just couldn't even believe it. Do you ever have that moment, guys? Where you just wanted to just fling the remote? I didn't fling the remote because bad things happen when you fling the remote. But at least if you punch a well-cushioned couch, you can get the aggression out and get it out of your system without damaging your hand or damaging any any of your house there by throwing the remote. So Yeah, I'm not ashamed to admit that. I just had to let it out. I was so pissed. I can't even believe it. And now next week I don't even have a quarterback. Do I look at waiver opinions instead of Lamar or Watson? Listen, Tyler Huntley, that's who I'm picking up. 108, 109, he's leading with Fournette left. I have Schultz and Kamara. Oh, you should win. Yes, definitely. I think you're good, Mike P. I wish I was in a good position like you were. Right there with you, bro. Yeah, man, I'm telling you, just suck. Yeah, Jeff Wilson. I said don't start Jeff Wilson. Remember that. And I have to say, a lot of my reads this week were pretty good. I was off on Adam Thielen, definitely. But, A.J. Brown, Jeff Wilson, I feel like I made some decent calls, at least for this week. Geno Smith, man. Geno Smith is the man. 28 of 39, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. He really did a nice job. I know Ken Walker got injured, 3 for 36, a lost day for him. Kyron Williams only got 3 carries for 9 yards. Cam Akers did the job, 17 for 60, only 3.5 a carry, but he scored 2 rushing touchdowns. So it looks like they're still trying to salvage the Cam Akers experiment here. Is it going to be DJ Dallas? I mean, you don't want to own any of these handcuffs. When I do the handcuff videos, I don't even talk about the Seattle backups because oh, you lost video, Mike P? I'm sorry. I hope you guys didn't lose the video. Sometimes that happens, once in a while. So I apologize if that happened. But yeah, I went against Tyler Lockett. How about this? 9 for 128 and a touchdown. And like A.J. Brown, Tyler Lockett, especially when he was with Russell Wilson, goes on these ballistic runs once every 3 or 4 games, and he did it against me. But DK Metcalf did it as well, 8 for 127 and a touchdown. So, when I've said over and over again that Geno Smith, one of the biggest miss we all had was on Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf. Those who drafted them at value because they really sunk in drafts are probably in really good shape in their leagues because nobody could have saw Geno Smith doing this, propping up the value of both of these guys throughout the course of the season. And the fact that they both went for over 125 yards today is fucking ludicrous. Like, it just really is. I can't even believe what I'm seeing here. Nothing to talk about the rest of the Rams. Wolfer got hurt again. Perkins came in. It's just an ugly situation there. You don't want to, and it's safe to drop Kyron Williams. For some reason, Sean McVay just doesn't want to do the right thing and give the kid a look. Start Zeke or Kamara, full PPR. You got to do Kamara if it's full PPR. Metcalf went off 2 as against him and McCaffrey. Yeah, man, not good. Not good, Mike P. Tough day. So speaking of San Francisco, this is one of the most impressive games of the entire season that they were able to destroy the Miami Dolphins, a hot Miami Dolphins team with Brock Purdy at quarterback, Mr. Irrelevant. Last pick of the draft was awesome. 25 of 37, 210, 2 touchdowns and a pick. Like, what the hell? Like, seriously, like, you can't get any points from Lamar Jackson week to week, but you have Brock Purdy coming off the bench and he's throwing lasers all over the field. So listen, Jimmy Garoppolo out for the season with a broken foot. They're going to have to rely on Brock Purdy. It's crazy. Started Pirine over Kamara. Yeah, I mean, Lex, that was a good move. But how about Tua? 18 for 33. He did throw 2 touchdowns, so I'll give him that. 2 interceptions. He lost a fumble, I believe, as well. Yes, 3 turnovers for him. Look at this with the running game. Raheem Mostert, 7 for 30. Jeff Wilson, 1 carry for 3 yards. I told you all not to play him, so, certainly vindication there. But one carry for 3 yards is just absolute, just insanity. Like, I don't even understand that. Christian McCaffrey, 17 carries for 66 yards, 8 for 80 and a score in the receiving game. This is the number 1 overall pick, Christian McCaffrey. He's stayed healthy, guys. I mean, he's the butt of all jokes the last 2 seasons, but he stayed healthy. Deebo Samuel, 6 for 58 in the receiving game. 4 carries for 5 yards. Didn't do the job, but Jeff Wilson, that was pathetic. It really was. Brandon Ayuk, 5 for 46, ineffective game for him. George Kittle, 2nd week in a row now he's done nothing, 2 for 22. I'm very concerned about Kittle the rest of the way. It's going to be a very stripped down offense. They're not going to be giving, Brock Purdy a lot of responsibility. The passing game, I think, is going to take a hit. So Ayuk, Samuel, Kittle all need to be downgraded going forward just a little bit. Ended up winning, but he's one on my side. I always had Dulcich, but he never performed for me. Dropped him. This is the week for Conklin. Of course, Dulcich had a great game. Yeah, I mean, listen, you can't beat yourself up over anything that happens on Denver because if you play any of the Denver Broncos, you're looking for trouble. Eckler did okay. Yeah, okay. I'll get to that game in a minute about Eckler. CMC did his thing, and now Garoppolo outfield very confident about the checkdowns. Yes, lots of checkdowns going forward. Tyreek Hill is just impossible to deal with. 9 for 146 and a touchdown. Jalen Waddle only one catch for 9 yards. He was beat up the whole game. It was ugly. It's probably going to be a week-to-week situation with Jalen Waddle. He's another guy that always guts it out and plays, so I'm not too concerned about him long-term. But not what you want to see with Jalen Waddle, but Tyreek Hill, man. And that's another guy. I talked about DK Metcalf. I talked about Tyler Lockett. Tyreek Hill is a guy that slipped in drafts, and those who looked past the risk or looked over the consensus talk among the fantasy football community that Hill was somebody to be avoided, those who went in on him have a first-round stud that they got maybe as late as the late second round or even the early third round. All right, Kansas City. Cincinnati, big win for Cincinnati. This team looks like they're ready to go back to the Super Bowl. Joe Burrow can play for my team anytime, 25 to 31, 286 and 2 scores. Pat Mahomes, 16 for 27, only one passing touchdown. Second week in a row, Mahomes' numbers really haven't been that overly impressive. So if you played against Mahomes, this was the week to do it against. What happened to the Vikings? Started out great, and then all went down. Well, the Jets defense is legit, Brian, and that's what the Jets did the week prior, too, against the Bears. They struggled early on, and then they shut their opponent down the rest of the way. 49ers' chances of making the Super Bowl, Nigel, are 0. They're not making the Super Bowl with Brock Purdy. And that was my pick, them in San Francisco. I'm going to have to rethink it because I'm definitely not picking the Vikings. I'm going to have to look at it again. But I might even be looking at the Bengals now. So that's how good they were. Jamar Chase, successful return, 7 for 97. T. Higgins, 3 for 35. He did score, but not a good outing there. Samaje Perine putting himself out there as probably the best backup running back in football. 21 for 106 on the ground, 6 for 49 in the air. He did the PPR thing, no problem. Isaiah Pacheco was even solid, 14 for 66 and a rushing score. And he added 2 catches for 16 yards. So they're starting to put him and get him a little bit more involved now in the offense. Travis Kelce, so this has got a lot of attention, 4 for 56. So listen, that's bad. Anytime you're getting single-digit fantasy points from Travis Kelce, it's a big, big letdown. Not sure what happened there. Nothing else really was going well for Juju Smith-Schuster, 3 for 35. He's still in a haze from the concussion. That's 2 dud weeks in a row now for Juju. I'm a little bit concerned about this Kansas City passing offense all of a sudden. And it was bad. It was absolutely bad today, no doubt about it. I need Pollard and Olave to combine for 21. Do I get the dub? Wow, close. I think you're going to go right down to the wire with that one. It's going to be very close. How about the Las Vegas Raiders? They've won 3 in a row now, 5-7. They're putting themselves in the conversation, albeit a little late. Devontae Adams, 8 for 177 and 2 touchdowns. Like, what the fuck? Like, seriously, like how does this happen every week? Like, an NFL defense should not allow this kind of production. Like, it's just asinine that you're not rolling a safety constantly to the side of Devontae Adams. Now, I didn't play Adams. This isn't sour grapes, but I mean, damn, this guy is just ridiculous. And he actually, the one team that I'm struggling with, the Devontae Adams owner is not going to make the playoffs. So that's like amazing to me. In my other league, he will. And actually, the best team in that other league that I'm 10-2 in has Devontae Adams and CeeDee Lamb and DeAndre Hopkins. So it's going to be tough for me to win that league as well. Keenan Allen, 6 for 88 and a touchdown. Allen is working the rust off still. He was good, though. I would like the way he played. Even Gerald Everett, 5 for 80. Josh Palmer, 7 for 60. Every time Mike Williams or Keenan Allen misses a game, Josh Palmer shows up. I guess Christian Watson is the real deal now. Yeah, he is. Listen, they're going to get him in space. He's going to be the Devontae Adams in this offense. The numbers are silly in terms of touchdowns. Listen, he's still very touchdown dependent. I mean, there's no doubt about it. He's very touchdown dependent, but I think, the numbers clearly back up his breakout. Juju still, I don't know what's going on with Juju. Not good. So Austin Eckler, 10 for 35. He lost a fumble, saved his day, 5 for 67. Not really saved the day. This was a bad outing for Eckler based on his standards. So, is the season long wear and tear getting to him? I'm not ready to say that. If he has another bad one next week, then maybe I'd start thinking about that. B-Rob over Jeff Wilson. Yes. Oh, definitely. Definitely, Nigel. B-Rob is legit. I'm a fan. I'm on board. One league playoff team has A.J. Brown, D-Hop, Godwin, and Adams. Yes. And there's a team like that in the league that I'm 10-2 in. He has Devontae Adams. He has D-Hop. He has CeeDee Lamb. And he has Amon-Ra St. Brown. All four of them. He drafted Devontae with the second overall pick in the draft, which, people laughed at him. And now look, the second round, he took CeeDee Lamb. He took Amon-Ra in the third round. So he started listen to this, guys. He started his draft, Devontae Adams, CeeDee Lamb, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and then in the seventh round took DeAndre Hopkins. Fucking perfect. I mean, that's the way you do it, right? I mean, if you go receiver heavy, this guy's team is put up 160 points on a weekly basis. He's right behind me. I'm 10-3. He's 9-4. And the only reason why he has 4 losses is because he had some injuries early in the season. Devontae got to chill. This shit's starting to get ridiculous. Him and Amon-Ra it's crazy. I mean, you would think an NFL defense could stop it. You know what happened with Cameron Williams? Akers got all the steps. I don't know, Joe. I really have no answer for that. It makes no sense to me. And now that Akers scored twice, they're probably just going to go back to it. So Justin Herbert, 28-47, only a single touchdown. Listen, he was really good last week. I thought that was going to snap him out of it. It's just not happening. It's a bad year for Justin Herbert. I'm still a fan. I'll go back to him next year if I have to, although he's not a running quarterback and I want one of those running quarterbacks. But I think his value might slip to the point where he makes a decent value. Justin Herbert's my Achilles heel in my team. He will win or lose. Yes. Yeah, it looks like it for sure. How about Zonovan Knight Day? Yes, Zonovan Knight was fantastic. Speaking of fantastic, again, Josh Jacobs, MVP of fantasy football, my opinion, 26 of 144. And the reason why I call him MVP is because where he was drafted. So you can give me Devontae Adams, you can give me Amon-Ra St. Brown. Josh Jacobs was drafted later than all those guys, and by a decent margin, he's the fantasy MVP in my book. 26 for 144, a touchdown. He did lose a fumble, only 2 catches for 6 yards, but another terrific day for him. McLaurin owned the Giants. Yeah, McLaurin did own the Giants, no doubt about it. Your league mate's business bad. Yeah, seriously, my league mate is killing it right now. And I'm 10-3, and I have a really good team, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to beat him. Almost game time, yes. So I'll be, just finishing up here. Your league mate is a free thinker. I gotta stop buying into the fantasy community's hype with guys like Pitts. Yes, he is a free thinker, and again, he started Devontae Adams. Then he drafted Lamb in round 2, Amon-Ra round 3, and everybody's like, "What are you doing, dude? What are you running? What about your running backs?" And guess who he drafted? Guess who he drafted in the 5th round? Let's see if you guys can get it in the chat. So he drafted Adams, CeeDee Lamb, and Amon-Ra first 3 picks. Guess who he took in the 5th round? No, not ETN. Come on, guys, the obvious one. Jacobs, there it is. Lex got it. Jacobs, right? Exactly. So I mean, greatest draft of all time, in my opinion. So I mean, that just crazy. And I think he took Dak with the 4th in the 4th round, which not great that one, but I mean, yeah, he killed it, man, no doubt about it. I'm gonna have to deal with that down the road. So I'll update you on that one. He's right now he's got the number 2 spot. I got the number 1 spot. So we're gonna be on opposite sides of the bracket. We're each gonna have the first round bye. So we'll see. Yeah, I think he's gonna win for sure. But yes, so that's the deal with today. Let me just check some injury notes while I'm still on here. Let's see. Yeah, the Garoppolo thing that had just dropped while we were on here. That was good timing. Picking Russ was rough. Yeah, Russ, that was bad. So Matthew Stafford has a spinal cord contusion. Man, Matthew Stafford's wife is not going to let him come back. No way in hell. What's your team in that league? My team's record, I'm going to be 10-3 because I lost today. Who's on my roster? So my 10-3 team, I have Lamar and Justin Fields as my quarterbacks. So now I'm in trouble there. I have T. Higgins, Chris Godwin, and Devontae Smith as my receivers. So there's no wide receiver 1 there. Maybe Godwin, Smith and Higgins are wide receiver 2. So not great. But my running backs are strong. I have Ramondre Stevenson and Jonathan Taylor. And I also have, well, I have Leonard Fournette, which is not great right now, but I have Travis Kelce at tight end. So Kelsey's been fantastic for me. This team is not as good as that other team I told you about. So I'm going to have to pick up somebody. Need to win this week. Still not over. Would be ashamed to lose my team as well. PPR. Yeah, I mean, listen, that's a good team. That's a good team, Nigel. That would be a shame if you lost. But anyway, yeah, guys, a rough day for sure. So I'm glad you guys jumped on. I'm going to wrap it up here. I'm glad we tuned in. I'll be on again tomorrow, so look for the stream probably around 5 o'clock. So, and yes, Michael, he is a weekly star for sure. So look for the live stream tomorrow. I hope you guys pull it out. I'm hoping for 68 points from those 4 guys. We'll see. Have a great night, everybody. Be well. And yeah, we'll see what tomorrow brings. Oh, Nigel, thank you for that super chat. Nigel's just dropped me a super chat. So, I really appreciate that. Thank you. And that does help with the channel. And yes, I'm glad I'm here for the and thank you, Nigel. Good luck for you as well. I'm glad I'm here for the vent session. And it does make me feel better because I know we're all in the same boat. We've all had rough outings before, and sometimes we just gotta get it off our chest. Oh, Nigel with another super chat. That I really appreciate that. Thank you. Never expected, but certainly appreciated. So I thank you for that. And I was thinking about jumping on for the first, couple of minutes of this game there between Indy and Dallas. But I know a lot of you guys probably want to go and run and watch it. But I'm definitely going to be doing the stream tomorrow. Just, like I said, look for 5 o'clock. And hopefully we all have some better news tomorrow. So until then, guys, we will chat soon. I will see you all tomorrow. Have a good night.